We have yet another example now of failed former President Donald Trump being given the opportunity to just cleanly condemn the Russian President Vladimir Putin and his invasion of Ukraine, and he doesn't do it. Last night, the former failed president was interviewed by Fox News propagandist Sean Hannity. And in a moment, we're going to get to some of this windmill stuff. Trump's still very confused about windmills, and we're going to do a little bit of a deeper dive into windmills and birds. But before we get to that, here's the opportunity. Hannity just says it. Is this evil? Just tease up an easy one for Trump to condemn Putin, and Trump doesn't, delivering another one of these word salads. Take a listen to this.
I asked you the last time you were on whether you think that this is evil in our time. Do you believe this is evil in our time?
Right.
I think in 100 years, people are going to look back and they're going to say, how did we stand back and NATO stand backwards?
So that's a criticism of NATO and of Biden. Understand, Hannity says, is this evil? Is Putin evil? Is what Russia's doing evil? And he goes, the history books are not going to look kindly at NATO and the United States and Biden. Now, also remember, well, let's play a little more.
In many ways, I've called a paper tiger. Don't forget, I rebuilt NATO because when I became president, the first thing I noticed when I went there to the first meeting was that most of the countries were not paying or were paying far less than they were supposed to. There were only 8 out of 28 countries that were paid in full. The United States was not only one of them. We were making up the deficit in order to protect Europe. We were paying possibly 80% of NATO to protect them. And then they take advantage of us yet on trade, because on trade, they're every bit as bad as China. They treated us very badly on trade. We changed a lot of that around, but they were very tough on trade. I asked Angela Merkel, how many Chevrolets?
Guys, remember, the question was, is it evil what Putin is doing? And Trump's criticizing NATO, implicitly criticizing Biden for not doing enough, and now criticizing Angela Merkel.
Are you selling this month in Munich or Berlin? And she looked at me, well, probably none. I said, you're exactly right, none. And yet we had the Mercedes-Benz and the Volkswagens and all of them. We had all of the German companies. And the same thing with farmers. Our farmers sell virtually nothing to Europe. You take a look at...
How crazy is that? I mean, really, how bonkers is that? Is Putin's invasion evil? Why aren't American cars being sold in Germany? That's really bad. And NATO's bad, and Biden's bad. And by the way, Trump seems obsessed with why you don't see people driving around in Chevys in Germany. Guys, I hate to be critical of American industry, but like, if you can get a Volkswagen locally produced, if you can get a Mercedes or an Audi locally produced, why are you going to say, get me an American Chevy? I mean, Germany has very good cars. Like it's anyway. So another opportunity to just plainly, cleanly criticize Putin's invasion, and Trump doesn't do it. Now, there was another really wacky moment in this interview, which is not getting as much attention. Listen to what Donald Trump had to say about bald eagles, as he says, being killed by windmills. Trump is very much against wind farms. He says the noise causes cancer. Not true. And listen to what he had to say.
Windmills, because they're killing eagles. They're killing the bald eagle and other eagles and other birds. And we have these windmills all over the place, and the environmentalists pretend they love them, but they're really hurting our country. They're driving down values. They're just absolutely killing. It's one of the most expensive forms of energy. The turbines are all made in China or Germany, so they get the advantage of that. It's just ridiculous. But the real problem...
Yeah. So this has been studied, and this Trump has been repeating this for years, and many on the right have been repeating this about wind farms. Do windmills kill some birds? Yes, they do. They do. Windmills kill from about 230,000 to 330,000 birds per year. Wow. Okay. Well, that's significant, right? Well, maybe. Cell and radio towers cause nearly 7 million bird deaths per year. Whoa, wait a second. The wind farms kill 250,000, call it, and the cell and radio towers kill 7 million? Yes. And they never talk about that. Cats, okay? I know a lot of cat owners don't like this. Cats kill 1.4 to 3.7 billion birds a year. Billion with a B, okay? So windmills are having no statistically significant effect on the bird population. But you know what? Maybe I'm being unfair because I'm comparing bird deaths from an energy generation mechanism to other types of bird deaths. Okay, well, if you consider the oil and gas fields kill 500,000 to 1 million birds per year already, and you never hear about it. Okay, so this is a completely hypocritical talking point. Everything we do has an effect. Do you wear cotton? Cotton requires a lot of water. The water that goes to make cotton clothing leads to frogs and salamanders dying because they have no environment anymore. The water is gone. Okay, I mean, so then we'll maybe switch to synthetic clothing. Oh, but those are oil derivatives in many cases, and then you've got the birds. These things are complicated, but one thing we know for sure is that the bird death toll from windmills is statistically insignificant compared to all the other things that we have in industry that are killing birds. Now, in terms of eagles, there's really no specific data on how many bald eagles are being killed by wind turbines. The estimate is that in total, about 100 eagles a year die from wind turbines. In theory, some of the 100 are bald eagles. I don't know. It depends. You'd have to look more. We don't have that data. But way more eagles die from other things humans do. If you care about the eagles, do you know how many eagles die from hitting cars? Do you know how many eagles die from eating leftover lead? I don't know if it's called buckshot or just shot, ordnance of sort, ammunition spent, used. Eagles eat it and then they die. Or eagles hitting electrified power lines. Well, shouldn't we be burying power lines? Oh no, that's too expensive. We can't do that. So this is nonsense. It's nonsense. But as is often the case, there's like a tiny little kernel of something true about it. And then they fixate on it and then they blow it up and then they repeat it uncritically. So a very strange interview there with Sean Hannity. One of our sponsors is CuriosityStream, the only subscription streaming service that specializes in documentaries. My audience can get a CuriosityStream subscription for only about $1 a month at curiositystream.com/Pacman. We all know Netflix than Hulu. They have some documentaries, but CuriosityStream has a way better selection in every category. I'm always finding documentaries on CuriosityStream I can't find anywhere else. I just watched Electing Lincoln, which is a 3-part series about what led to the election of Abraham Lincoln. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. CuriosityStream has an app for all of your devices. I've always got it going on the TV, or I can put it on my tablet when I travel. With CuriosityStream, I can explore a new topic I never knew I'd be interested in, or zone out with a great nature documentary. Whatever you're looking for, it's there, and you can get CuriosityStream for just $14.99 a year. That's less than $2 a month when you go to curiositystream.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman. The link is down below.